And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes. Thank you for coming to hang out during the stream, you guys. I appreciate that. Look, you know the drill. I didn't get a chance to do this last week, but we're counting down the top 10 budget cards in NBA 2K22 My Team. I figured this was a good week to do so because it's not like we got a bunch of crazy budget cards today, but we got a few that are worth noting. We got a few over the last week that have been really, really good. So most of you guys have watched these before. 4 honorable mentions, and then we are on to the top 10. So let's get started with a card I bet you didn't expect to see up here because, you know, I have a history with him. Kevin Porter Jr. Now, Kevin Porter Jr. is honestly pretty good. He deserves to be an honorable mention. Like, he's a J.R. Smith clone, jump shot 49, same as like OJ Mayo, Desmond Mason, Tim Hardaway Jr. It is on quick, so it's pretty good. He's got kind of whack tendencies. Standard, he's not terrible. Like, he's not. He's a very competent offensive shooting guard / point guard. Like, he's got a good stable of badges, like some pretty good golds, etc. He's not really playing any defense. His Evo is ridiculous, but it's not terrible. Like 250 points, 30 3-pointers, 30 assists. Like, that's not that bad. And then he gets 4 additional Hoff badges. His Limitless goes up to Hoff. He gets Hoff Posterizer. He gets Blinders and Catch and Shoot Hoff as well. So he is a very fun, like, offline card. So, like, if you're trying to play offline and have a good time and get like a competent offensive scorer that's going to be fun to play with, like, Kevin Porter Jr. is probably your guy. He's still C tier though. Shout out to that one guy. Next up, we got one of my favorite cards in the game. I love this card. I know a lot of people don't like this card, but Vernon Maxwell. Vernon Maxwell, you can get this card for 1,500 MT, and he's basically a, I was going to say, I keep still wanting to say a 6'4" Gary Payton clone, but Gary Payton is 6'4". So he's a Gary Payton clone. He's going to play competent defense. He's going to attack the rim. Like, I like jump shot 40. I know some people hate it. I personally like it. But this card is really, really fun to use. I know a lot of people were hating on it last week, but I like it a lot. He's a, like, if you're looking to pick up a budget 2 guard and you have like 5,000 MT, like, Vernon Maxwell might be the guy to pick up. You can get him for like 1,500 MT. I promise he's worth every penny. The other reason I say to pick him up as well is just because, like, what is going on here? Houston is going to be one of those teams that's going to be really tough if we do have to do spotlight sims in order to, like, fill out a roster for. So it's not a terrible idea to pick up Vernon Maxwell while he's dirt cheap, just for that inevitability. All right. Next up, he's an honorable mention because as much as I like the card, like, he's not for everybody. Pink Diamond Jeremy Lin. You can get this card for really cheap, like 10K or something. Stupidly cheap. He's good. He's like Gary Payton, but slightly better. Not Dark Matter. Pink Diamond Gary Payton. He plays good defense. He attacks the rim. I personally like his jump shot, and he has 61 total badges. I really don't know what else to say. Jeremy Lin is just a genuinely fun card to use. And I think for this price point, he's one of the best point guards you can buy for this price. There's no question about it. Like, you can make the case that Penny Hardaway, who sometimes dips below 25K, might be a little bit better. I personally think Jeremy Lin is superior, but that's just me. I should say he might not be superior, but he's more fun to play with. He's more well-rounded. That's what I meant to say. Final honorable mention. I know I'm going to get shit on in the comments for that, but he is more well-rounded and he's more fun to play with. If you're a super sweat, yeah, you're going to like Penny a little bit more, but your average player is probably going to have more fun playing with Jeremy Lin, is what I'm trying to say. LaMarcus Aldridge. He's pretty good, and honestly, you can't buy many bigs for this price point. You can get LaMarcus for like 10K or less that are going to give you this level of production. Like, he's huge. He's going to grab rebounds, block shots. He's going to shoot open threes at a high clip. Like, that's what you're getting with him. He's going to be big. Shoot threes, block shots, maybe bang in the interior if you really need him to, but that's it. And LaMarcus is really good at that. He's got the Brook Lopez base, pretty fire. Number 10, very interesting card, a budget player's best friend, JT Thor. Oh, I wish we had a pink diamond JT Thor. JT Thor is very good. Now, I would recommend grabbing the Ruby version, and the reason I say that is because he's like dirt cheap. Like, the Ruby version is like dirt cheap, and what you have to do is not that bad. It's just 23 pointers and 20 dunks. He only gets the 1 additional Hoff, but he does get like additional strength and like draw foul, it's really not that necessary, to be honest, to really evo him up. It doesn't really make that big of a difference. Like, it does give him like gold clutch shooter and gold difficult shots and volume shooter, which do help a little bit. It only gives him off limitless though. But JT Thor has a super sick release. Like, it's very good. I liken this card to Sekou Demboya, with a better jump shot, but he's slightly worse, if that makes sense. But he deserves to be number 10 because his card is actually really solid. I'm shocked because I really don't know who JT Thor is, so I'm kind of surprised that this card is as good as it is. He deserves to be up here. Number 9, you already know, my boy. I personally believe he should be higher, but, you know, the list demands what the list demands. Bob Sura. Bob Sura is still probably one of the best point guards you can buy for around the 5K range, I would say. I don't know if there's really too much you could say about that. I would say him or Lou Will are probably two of, if not the two best that you can buy for that price. There's another couple guys that I think are close, but they are a little bit more expensive. Bob Sura is 6'5", good jump shot, good stable of badges. He plays competent defense, so he's got the solid player build. He's a fun card to use. He's more of an online competitive card. He's not like he's not fun to use offline, but if you're picking up Bob Sura, it's going to be more for online competitive purposes as opposed to like going to play the CPU. It's not like he's bad at doing that. Let's just be realistic about what the card is for. You know what I mean? I use him offline. He's pretty fun, but when I'm playing offline, I use different guys. Like Bob Sura would be someone who I would use online. Number 8, my boy, OJ Mayo. OJ Mayo's around the same price as Bob Sura, and he's objectively like a better point guard option. That's why I wanted to rank him a little bit higher. OJ, in addition to being a slightly better point guard option, I think anyway, at least offensively, I should say, he's also more fun to use offline. So if you're somebody who wants to play more offline stuff, like, you're going to probably want to use OJ Mayo. Everything I said about Kevin Porter Jr. goes kind of double for OJ Mayo, except he's really solid defensively, whereas Kevin Porter Jr. is not really the greatest defensively. I actually like OJ Mayo a lot, and I think for like even less, 5K, excellent value for OJ Mayo, dude. Number 7, Josh Smith. I mean, I've talked about this card like ad nauseum since it came out a few weeks ago. I mean, he's a lockdown defensive power forward, a little bit on the small side, but he can hold his own. He can rim run. He can shoot from the corners. If you're looking for more of a 3-and-D power forward, this is your guy right here. He can handle the rock and attack the rim too, and he's going to get out and get steals and move in transition, but I will say that Josh Smith is just objectively not the most fun card to play with. Like, straight up, he's just not very fun to play with. I mean, I don't want to be like drink haterade over here, but like, dude, he's just not a fun card to play with. And if you say he is, like, that's cool, but I don't agree with you. Like, that's a comp man's card. You know what I mean? Number 6 is a card who's a little bit of both. He's competitive and he's kind of fun to play with. Serge Ibaka. Ibaka's fun. I mean, if you can get the signed one, I guess. Like, I don't think like set shooter really does a whole lot, but I mean, if you get it for the same price as the other one, then sure, but you honestly don't need it. Straight up, you can get Ibaka for like 5K, and for 5K, he's probably the best center in this game. Special shout out to like Marvin Bagley, who I was thinking about including on this list. He's pretty good, but I have a lifelong hatred for Marvin Bagley, so I haven't put him in the list. He seems like a nice guy, but 2K always does him dirty, and I always dislike his cards. I was going to say, unlimited contract Serge Ibaka. This is the time to search for unlimited contract cards, by the way. Like this one, unlimited contract, unlimited shoot. Might go pick it up. Yeah, I'll pay like an extra like 7K for it, but I think it's worth it. I'll use that Ibaka at some point. You know what I mean? So I don't mind. Ibaka's good though. 5,000 MT is a very, very solid price for a very competent big man that can bang with some of the best big men in the entire game. I think that's definitely worth it for sure on its own. And like I said, if you can get one with an unlimited shoe and unlimited contract, like this one's 4,000 MT with an unlimited shoe. Like it boosts his 3-point rating and probably interior defense, and strength. So it's not the greatest, but 4,000 MT, like what realistically do you have to lose at this point? You might be able to find some with badge editions as well. Ibaka's fire. Number 5, Derek Anderson. Look, I know you've never heard of this guy, and honestly, I've never heard of this guy either. To be honest, I've literally never heard of Derek Anderson. And I feel like I have a pretty solid, like, base level, at least at the minimum, knowledge of like random NBA players. And I've never heard of Derek Anderson, at least as far as I can tell. I mean, maybe I'm like forgetting something out here, but I don't know. Where are my NBA snobs at? Like, jump in here and tell me about Derek Anderson. He got drafted in 96. Oh, he's a Kentucky boy. Yeah, all right. I know a couple. I know a couple people are going to jump in here and be like, yeah, I know about Derek Anderson. Either way, Derek Anderson is actually fire. Like, straight up. He's fire. His Evo's a little rough with 10 steals, 53 pointers, and 20 assists, but he comes standard out of the box pretty solid. He's actually kind of very similar to Dan Marley, honestly, with a way better jump shot. He's got the same jumper as Dennis Smith Jr. and Troy Brown Jr., all the juniors, apparently, on quick, and it's really good. But once you get Derek Anderson Evo'd, you know, he gets access to Gold Chef. He has like Hoff blinders, catch and shoot, corner specialist, Deadeye Sniper, stop and pop volume. He also has a Gold Limitless, Gold Hot Zone Hunter with lights out hot zones. He has Gold, or no, I'm sorry, not Gold. Hall of Fame quick first step, clamps, pick dodger. Like, Derek Anderson is one of the best budget shooting guards in this game, straight up. He's super fire. Number 4, a card that came out last week. I think he deserves to be touched on. That sounded gross. The card. I need to rephrase things properly. Rashard Lewis. He's got jump shot 4. Like, he is the perfect sharp shooting wing. 6'10". He plays pretty lockdown defense. He can attack the rim a little bit too, but that's not really his like strong suit. He's gonna shoot threes. He's gonna play defense. He's gonna be like long for no reason. That's basically what you're getting with Rashard Lewis, and if that interests you, definitely go pick him up. He's like 10,000 MT. I would recommend it. He's good. Speaking of really long combo forwards for no reason, if you're more into attacking the rim, then you would want to go with our number 3 guy, Lamar Odom. Once again, I've talked about this card a lot for like no reason. I don't know, man. My voice is all messed up, dude. I've been at work all day, talking all day. Anyways, Lamar Odom is Lamar Odom, man. He's fire. Like, you guys kind of know what's up. I've been talking about Lamar Odom for like 3 weeks now. I really don't want to talk about him anymore. Like, truly. He's good. He attacks the rim. He's got Paul George jump shot. He's cheap. We got a newer card in the mix. Number 2. This actually hurts me to say. Tyler Herro. This card is stupid. This card is actually ridiculous. Like, I saw the hype about this card on Tuesday, and I was like, okay, whatever, dude. People like to hype quick jump shots. No. Tyler Herro is absolutely ridiculous. Like, this card is so good. 6'5", he moves better than I think even top tier shooting guards move. Like, the way his player movement is, he moves about equal to Klay Thompson. I think he personally moves a little bit better, and his jump shot is significantly faster. I'm not saying he's better than Klay Thompson, because Klay Thompson obviously has the badge advantage, but if like Tyler Herro and Klay Thompson have the same amount of badges, I guarantee you that Tyler Herro would be a better card. I promise. That's how good this card is. It's stupid. He shouldn't be this good. He should not move the way he moves. I promise. Tyler Herro's fire. Go pick him up. He's like literally the best budget shooting guard you could possibly buy. Number 1. Come on, he's been getting hyped all day. Thurl Bailey. The most expensive card on this list for sure, but there's a reason for that. He's essentially Giannis with base 22. That's what he is. He's Giannis with base 22 and better stats and badges. That's what he is. He's got an 81 3-point shot, which is just fine with base 22. 95 driving dunk, 86 ball handle. Like, he's ridiculous. His stats do not make him seem like the greatest defender in the world, but I promise that is not the case at all. Once he gets Evo'd, which, you know, the Evo is a little ridiculous, I'll be honest. 300 points, 50 rebounds, 15 dunks, 10 blocks, which is kind of ridiculous, but yeah, you're not getting an Opal one for under 25k, so it's better to try and do it yourself. But Thurl Bailey is without a doubt the best card you can buy right now for 25k or less in NBA 2K22 My Team. I promise. Like, until Andre Karolinko drops below that price, which he could, because he's like really close. He's like 30k right now. But I still think Thurl might even be a little bit better. As always, has been your boy Cheap Lutes. Sorry, like I said, my vocals are not as good. I'm gonna drink some tea and stuff. I'll be back ready tomorrow. Drop a like on this video, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a bunch more content. So, peace.